I want to talk about non-duality and nothingness, because the most convincing aspect of consciousness is its separateness. It feels like I'm somewhere behind the eyes, between the ears, and that I'm somehow controlling this bag of skin, and I'm completely separate from everything else. Now, the reason that's a problem, psychologically speaking, is because we're also told how important forgiveness is. We're told that we should love our enemy, but the sense of division makes that really difficult. Maybe, though, this sense of division is an illusion. As Alan Watts once said, underneath all duality is unity. And we have some evidence for this. Think about what happened to Jo Bolt Taylor. She had a stroke that took her left brain offline. And I think it's the left brain that gives this sense of division. When the left brain was offline, she no longer felt that there was a place where she ended and everything else began. And she describes this as very peaceful. But I think the single thing that gives rise to the sense of division is the way the left brain treats nothingness. And you say, okay, what's nothingness? And you say, well, it's nothing. It's not important. It's trivial. But we know from the ancient Zen masters that something depended on nothingness, that nothingness was something. It was something important. They said this convincingly over and over again. Void is form and form is void. Well, let's take a 5-second test. Just look around you and describe what you notice. And when you do this, you'll see your list is going to be filled with things. And the one thing that's not going to be on your list is nothingness, because we don't notice it. We trivialize it. And I think that's the problem. If nothingness ceased to exist, if space between objects ceased to exist, we'd be right back to the point before the Big Bang. It would be that infinitely small point where there is no space. In fact, let's just take something as simple as, how does 1 become 2? So let's go back to kindergarten. How does 1 become 2? So you got 1. How does 1 become 2? It does so through space. You need a space between 1 to create 2. How do you create 3? Again, more and more space creates things. In fact, in this way, space creates all things. All things depend on space. Think about the same way that up depends on down. I mean, we couldn't take everything in the universe and put it up. You need down to define what up is. In the same way, things need space, and space needs things. So when you start experiencing this, you'll start seeing space more like a bridge rather than an emptiness. You'll start appreciating it. And instead of trivializing, you'll see, maybe even get a slight sensation of everything being connected. I remember my first metaphysical insight as a kid that if God created all of this, all the things in the universe, what did God use except God? So in this way, if God created things, maybe God also created space. And maybe there is this space, things, and they're really one. And when you play with this enough, you'll start to appreciate nothingness. When you appreciate nothingness, suddenly the gap between us and others seems illusory. And that makes forgiveness, it makes loving your enemy a lot more possible.